අද මේ Old Town එකේ ඇවිදින්න කියලා යන්නේ. අපිට ගයිඩ් කෙනෙක් හම්බ වෙනවා ෆ්‍රී කැම්පස් එකේ. එයාත් එක්ක තමයි යන්නේ. ගොඩක් දේවල් බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒ Old Town එකේ ඇවිද්දට මේ විස්තරයක් ගන්න නැතුව තමයි ඇවිදින්නේ. අද ගොඩක් විස්තර බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. මේ බලමු ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා.
Professional in Old Riga, you know, you will understand everything soon. Yeah, he will be expert of Old Riga soon. But I'm very sad that not too many students. This is chicken, but boy.
The main square, and then St. Peter's Church, and all around. So in the Old Town there is a lot to see. So follow me.
Old Town එක බලන්න යන්නේ.
It's a monastery. From the 13th till 16th century there was living monks. As we can see, there is next to our museum is Riga Cathedral, which was built at the same time as this building where is museum. So we can see that nowadays we still use this building as for museum, and nobody even knows that.
Oh, sorry. But you don't have, I think, from two houses, yes?
Yeah, so such an interesting thing. It's really a big street. We from Russian Empire. He was the first Tsar in 1672. And this building is special because when he came to Riga in 1812, then this building he used as his apartment.
යාලා මෙතන බැච් එකක් ගිහුවා. මේ බැච් එක දෙන්නේ Old Riga City එකේ ටුවර් එක ගිහපුවාම. මේ ගිහුවේ කියලා. මන්ට Old Riga පර්සන් කෙනෙක් වෙයි කියලා.
Understands why there is such a Christmas tree and what it means. In 2000s, archaeologists found here a little Christmas tree decoration, and when they were checking from which time it was, they figured out it's from 1510. So that means that in Riga there was the first Christmas tree ever. But through the time, Tallinn always is arguing with us, saying that no, we had the first Christmas tree. We are closer to Germany and Finland, how you could do that. But then we found that proof that there was that Christmas tree, and we're still trying to say that we had that tree. For a while, Tallinn said, okay, we will calm down, okay, we are agreeing, but still I had there in the tour, and they still saying that no, they had that one. That's what's happening. And here we made here a lot of different kind of events, meetings, and they were in the power to make different kind of events here in Riga. For example, about Christmas, Easter, they manage the times and the traditions, what kind of there will be, and they sell everything all around the world. So they bring here a lots of new stuffs. And if we talk about the Blackhead building, it's a new building. It was built in 2001, but the first one was from the 13th century. In Second World War, this all place the main people who made rules here in Riga. Nowadays we still use this building as the same. So now we will go to the St. Peter's Church. So,
just a second,
yeah.
I will add some information. So it's very funny that I think that Latvia is one of the small amount of countries and cities where you can come in to our city hall for free, and I recommend you to do it someday. So you will be checked for like an airport with your belongings, but you can enter. It's very interesting building inside, and you can see some art or some gifts for our mayors for many years. So I recommend you to have some time and enter this building. and it's watching tower, watching deck on this building, but we will show you later.
For students, there is the discount.
Yeah,
for
so
that,
it's very beautiful.
8
Maybe
euros or less even. I think.
in evenings there is sunset, because sunset in that way, and you will see all the buildings. It's very beautiful.
දැන් හවුස් ඔෆ් බ්ලැක්හෙඩ් එක ගාව තමයි මේ ඉස්සර අර පනිෂ්මන්ට් කරලා තියෙන දඬුවම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ එල්ල මරන්න, අත් කපන්න මේ පැත්තේ තියෙන කවුන්සිලර් හෝල් එකලු. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ නීති හදන කට්ටිය උපදෙස් දෙන කට්ටිය එතන ඉඳලා තියෙන්නේ. මෙතන ඉඳලා තියෙන්නේ වදකයෝ. මේකේ තමයි වදකයෝ ඉඳලා තියෙන්නේ. මෙතන තමයි ඒ ඒරියා එක. මෙතන ඔක්කොම වට වෙලා මේ ටවුන් හෝල් ස්කයගේ වට වෙලා මෙතන තමයි මේ කට්ටියට දඬුවම් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ හරියට වදකාගාරය වගේ.
Biggest church was built in the start of the Middle Ages, so more than 800 years old. But the same as the Blackhead building, it was bombed during the Second World War. So the tower we can see here is rebuilt during the Soviet Union times after the Second World War. So that's new. But all the other parts, the bricks we can see, they are old, from the 13th century. And this church was for the Lutherans, the same as nowadays. But in here, Martin Luther, who bring here the new religion in 16th century, the Lutheranism, this church first was destroyed. Because during the time, all the beautiful stuff, the gold, silver, beautiful statues, they were all sold or destroyed or burned because they didn't sell them those meanings as it was for Lutherans. There was everything basic, without any colors, without gold or silver. So this one was destroyed a lot. So nowadays, if you want to go in, you need to pay a ticket price. But if you want to see, it's really basic. There's a lot of brown or gray colors. Only really beautiful stuff is climbed to the tower. There's lift which brings you to up there. So that's really beautiful stuff because you can see.
මේ සිටි එක ඉස්සර ගොඩක් ලොකු ගින්නකට අහුවෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒකේ ඉඳන් තමයි මේකේ මේ ගල්වල පාට වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
For Bremen's musicians,
We will do the same and make a wish.
Okay.
different kind of cat, dog, donkey, and rooster. And what you have to do, you need to rub the nose and make a wish. It comes from the Bremen, from the Germany, as a legend that it
You
helps.
can ask the
That's
wish,
why
you
we
know, and
have
make like this, and I wish this, I wish that, and it will.
In Bremen is a German city.
Touch the
the
nose
origin?
and make a wish. This represents the Soviet Union times when in Germany there was the iron wall made. And in 1989 the wall was broken down, and from that time Riga made a really close relationship with Bremen for the trading and all the traditions, because in Riga was living a lot of people from Bremen, from Germany, and this was the gift from them. So the same one is for them and for us too. So if you believe that story, then you can also touch the nose and make a wish. Even higher you go, even bigger chance that your wish will come true. So you're welcome to try that too. Or you don't believe.
මේක මෙහි තියෙන එක ගේට් එකක්.
What a smell!
And here you can see that the wall, it's not original, just the lowest part of it. All the other is rebuilt in 1960. It was 10 meters long, but here we don't see those 10 meters because Riga is 800 years old and there is the ground from the 13th century. So a lot of parts is under the ground, so that's the job for archaeology. But we can see the way there was
ඉස්සර මෙතනින් තමයි ඇතුළට පරණ සිටියේ ඇතුළට ගිහින් තියෙන්නේ. මේ ඔක්කොම එතකොට පාර මේ ගඟක් තිබිලා තියෙන. මේ පස්සේ තමයි මේ බිල්ඩින් හදලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ එතකොට මෙතනින් බෝට් වල බඩු ගෙනල්ලා මෙතනින් ඇතුළට ගන්නවලු සිටි එක ඇතුළට. එතකොට මේ ඇත්තටම ඉන්නේ අපි ඕල්ඩ් සිටි එකෙන් එළියේ. දැන් ඉන්නේ.
We can see there is two gravures. There we can see Eva and Adams as a child. Nobody have ever seen how they looked as a child because in the religion they were put on the earth as a grown human. So here we can see how they are really friendly. They are together in the tree and want to share that apple together. And here you can see they are like arguing. No, we are not doing that. So those two parts as Eva and Adams as a kid. So that's something rare to see here. And nobody even know that fact that they are Eva and Adams from the Bible, from religion. So now you will know something interesting and you're gonna tell your friends too. And we can see this street
මේ
is
තියෙන්නේ
also
මේ
built
මෙතන
with
ගඟ කියලා තිබ්බ එක මතක් වෙන දාලා තියෙන ගල් කැටයක්. රිවර් කියලා තමයි මේ ගහලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ වගේ 10ක් තිබ්බල සිටි එකේ දැන් තියෙන දෙකයි. දැන් මෙතන එකක් තියෙනවා. තව එකක් ටිකක් දුර තියෙනවා කියලා කිව්වා. ඒක පස්සේ පෙන්නන්නම් කියලා.
which was built in 1930s, 1935, and the author is Karlis Zāle, and it represents freedom of Latvia. And the woman which is holding 3 stars is Milda, as one of the saints from Latvia, from Riga, which was till 13th century, till Germans came here, and Latvia was as a free place for the people to live. Now they hold the power of this city. Later in the Soviet Union times, the Russians wanted to destroy this monument, but they didn't manage to do that because there was one woman, Vera, I didn't. Yeah, and she saved this monument, and it still stands till nowadays. Those 3 stars represents Latvian cultural places, Latgale, Vidzeme and Kurzeme, but nowadays we have 5 of them, Selija and Zemgale extra, so they're not gonna change that because it's from the historical cultural places, but it still stands as it is. So yeah.
When was it made?
In 1935. Yeah.
Okay.
In the Russian Empire time, till the First World War, there was standing the monument of Peter the Great. So there on the horse he was sitting, and later, yeah, it was destroyed too. But it was destroyed in the sea because, as in Russian empires, Russians wanted to bring all the monuments which was made by really rich material, for example bronze. It was brought to Russia, then that ship where was this monument was destroyed, and during the time the monument was destroyed too. But later, a couple of years ago in 2004, if I remember correctly, it was found in Balsi. It's a little bit smaller, but weight is still 100 kilograms. So this one was made in 203rd when all this square was built for the Libyans to remind. And this head is meaning from the Stone Age when there was living a lot of pagans who believed in old gods and old beliefs. And next to this head there, they made different kind of sacrifices. For example, gave some animal or food sacrifices. So in Riga would be rain or something else to get food more, or health or something like that. So that was had for the sacrifices, and such a thing we can see really often in the territory of Latvia, because people believe in such a things. But in Chronica, such a cat and such a building, it was built in 1909 for one of the traders. And next to here we can see the big guild, which was made for the traders as a traders community. And this trader which holds this building, he wasn't accepted to the community. So he decided, okay, I will build my building next to them and make the cat with such a tail as this we can see, because when he was angry to the Great Guild, he turned the cat with his ass to the building, saying that I am angry, you can look at my cat's ass. But when they were in a good relationship, he put the face, so the people understood, oh, they are talking again and everything. So we can see the meaning is different as we thought. So something for the people's mind. Okay. This Riga Cathedral. So 2 of 10 is left for us.
Ini kalau nggak tiba kira kiawe ikan. Itu kayak nama kita tahu kan tadi.
But we are very lucky today, they were opened, so we can get in this square. What is interesting here, we can see those walls, which is left from the Middle Age, and there was that texture that people made home from the wood and bricks making inside them. So it came from Germany as a new style in Riga, but it was used only in this part of the city because it was really cold during the winter to use such a technique. So that's why there is left a couple of the parts to remind that there was such a walls, but nobody used them a lot here because of the coldness. And that's yeah. Here now we will go to the one of the biggest towers, which is left here in Riga. Called in different names. It's Sand Tower, it's Powder Tower, it's War Museum, which is actually for free if you want to go there. And this tower was one of the main towers for the city because there was the way, the sand way or sand road, which was called, and usually from this tower was saved all the city. During the 13th century it was built. We can see the part of the bricks down, mostly the stones in the gray color. Later in the 17th century there was really big war between Sweden and Poland, and a big part of this tower was destroyed. Then it was rebuilt in 18th century. It was called by Powder Tower because the guns showed up, and there was the war between Russians and Sweden, so it was destroyed again. And later on it was again rebuilt, and we can see those cannonballs left inside. There is 7 of them. 4 the bigger ones is from the 16th century left because it's made by stone, and the 3 others is made by iron because it's more expensive than the brick ones, and that to go into city. Those were, for example, the executioner. The people who didn't know, for example, came from countryside and didn't have the pass that you can go inside the city, and the people which didn't hold the nationality. For example, they didn't have those pass, or didn't have any relatives living inside, and also poor people live outside the city's walls. So that's how it worked in the Middle Age.
මේ අපි තාම ඉන්නේ සිටි එකෙන් එළියේ. ඕල් සිටි එකෙන් එළියේ. එතකොට මේ වෝල් එකෙන් ඇතුලේ තමයි ඕල් සිටි එක තිබිලා තියෙන්නේ. මේ කච්චාපුරි ගන්නවා. මේ හරියට අපේ ගාල්ලේ වගේ තමයි. ඒ වගේම තිබිලා තියෙන්නේ රෂියන්ලා එක්ක යුද්ධ තිබිලා තියෙනවා. හැමදේම හැම රටක් එක්කම වගේ යුද්ධ තිබිලා තියෙනවා, පෙරදිලක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මේ ගොඩක් ඉඳලා තියෙන්නේ හොරු. මේ හැමතැනම හැම කතාවලම කියවෙන්නේ කවුරු හරි කාගේ හරි දෙයක් හොරගම් කරා, නැත්තම් මේ කවුරු හරි කාගේ හරි දෙයක් අරන් ගියා, නැත්තම් මොකක් හරි එකක් මේ තරහට කරා. ඒ වගේ දේවල් තමයි මෙහි තියෙන කතා හැම එකම. මොනවද කියන්න තියෙන්නේ?
ලයික් කරන්න, ෂෙයා කරන්න ඕනම් බෑ. හොඳ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකක් ගත්තා ඉතින්.
මේ මම කිව්වේ හොඳම සීන් එක මෙහි ඉඳලා තියෙන හොරු විතරයි. පල් හොරු ඉඳලා තියෙන්නේ.
අපේ හොඳයි.
අපේ හොඳයි.
අපේ ස්ටැචුස් උසංගෙතර ගිහලා තියාගන්න.
එහෙම සීන් එකක් කියලා තියෙන්නේ.
Second gate, which is left from the Middle Age, 17th century. You can see 1698, and those are made for the Swedish warriors because they needed to go inside the city, quickly go outside to the river and the main tower to see what's going on. And from these gates there is one legend left which still holds, and people really like that legend. And during the 17th, 18th century, all the Swedish warriors was not allowed to date some of the women from Riga. So that was forbidden, yeah. But there was forbidden love between Riga, the woman from Riga, and Swedish warrior. They were meeting each midnight next to these gates. But then people noticed that there is something going on between them, and they somehow made believe that a woman, that warrior is waiting for her to these gates. So she came here, and that warrior never came because he was already killed. But they didn't know what to do with the woman. So she came here, she was waiting, and he didn't come. The next day she did the same, came here at the midnight. And the third day people came here and said that we noticed that you're coming here a lot. So we know that you were dating that Swedish warrior. And she refused that no, I didn't do anything like that. But people were really angry because it was forbidden and nobody could do that. So she was buried inside these walls as a woman who did something which was not allowed. And in nowadays, some of the people says that if you come here with your lover, like as a couple, and come to these gates at the midnight, you can hear those words, "I love you," because that was the last thing they said to each other, and that's why they both died, because of the love, even though it was forbidden love. So maybe if you wanna somehow prove that you really love each other, then you can come here and maybe hear those words. Yeah. Yeah. But need to do that at the midnight.
කොහොම කරන්න කලින් කවුරු හරි හොයාගන්න. හොයාගෙන තමයි ඉන්නේ.
ඒකට හෙන්නත් නැත්නම් ඔබේ කම්පැනි.
කවුරු හරි තියලා දෙනවා කියන්නේ. බෙද.
talking with people when you needed to order some killing to the someone, or needed to just talk with the hangman, even though nobody even wanted to do that because he was scary. So how people knew what kind of people will be punished in the main square? There was standing black globe. Then it was it meaning was that men gonna be punished. But if there was the red rose, then people understood. Oh, there was women. Will be. So we need to go prepared. Usually the globe and the rose was put here one day before that all thing happened. So a lot of people notice even when, especially when they were going in and outside the city's wall. So those are two signs. So still in notice we have see some kind of slides because, for example, men always giving for the woman roses, and usually they know red rose very well. Other flowers, they're just the flowers, other flowers. And women for the men gives as a gift the gloves or the socks. Still the same happens in nowadays. But yeah. 14th, 15th century, and probably you notice that upstairs the thing which made by wood, and how people were living in the Middle Age. Usually all the goods, all the products they were holding to the top floor. So to get that goods to the top floor, they made the rope down here and were pulling all the products up there. The second floor was meant for the people's office to hold the papers, really important documents, and etc. And this part, the first floor, was meant for the living, the rooms, kitchen, bathroom didn't have them yet, but all the living parts. And here they were holding the horse. So usually this was mostly for the rich people, rich person, traders were one of them. So that's how the Middle Age homes was established. And walking around the city, you can see a couple of them. We can see here something really similar, and that was made, yeah, for the products. But you didn't ask why those products were exactly on the top floor, because in Riga happened floods really often, so then the products would be destroyed from that. But they were really expensive, and they could get really lot money from that. That's why they thought about really smart option as this.
මේ ඉස්සර හැම වෙලේම ගම් වතුර ගල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකයි මිනිස්සු කෑම උඩ මේ තියලා තියෙන ස්ටොක් කරලා. ඒක නමලු.
It was built also in 13th century, but we can see there is something on the roof. It's built out of the roof, and from 13th till 17th century for Riga there was 3 miracles. The bridge, the big Christop or Saint Christopher, and bell out of the roof. All the people who came in Riga, they knew those 3 miracles, which was representing Riga. So there was the book written with all the Hanseatic cities or countries, miracles, and that's how they recognized that this is that city. There wasn't written that it's Riga, navigation, there didn't exist, the phones and the Google Map or etc. And they were navigating only through those sites. And when people went back home, and some of the persons said, "Oh, I've been in Riga," and then they could say, "Prove me, tell me what kind of miracles you saw there." And if a person said those 3 things, then it was proven that he was here. There's the legend from this
එකම සීන් එක තමයි යන්නේ. මේ ඉස්සර තිබිලා තියෙනවද මේ බෙල්ලයක් යන ගන්ටාරයක් වගේ එකක්. කවුරු හරි මොනවා හරි කරපුවාම හොරකම් කරපුවාම ඒ ගන්ටාරේ ගහනවා. ඒතකොට හැමෝම දන්නේ මේ මොකක් හරියක් වෙලා තියෙනවා කියලා. ඒක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් සුලභ දෙයක් වෙන්නේ නැති දවස්වල කියන්නේ හැමෝම දැනගන්න තරම්.
When you have a free time, you can enter this church. It's for free and it's really beautiful because it's for Catholics, and for Catholics the churches is really beautiful and extravagant. So when you have time, please go in and check this church out too. Yeah. So here we can see three buildings. We call them Three Brothers, and we did this a really long time ago. It's around 100 years already. That's meaning is Three Brothers. But a couple of years ago, Tallinn decided, oh, that's a really good tourism object to do something like that. So they have three sisters. So they copied something from us. But Three Brothers, what it means, there never lived three brothers or never had three brothers owning those buildings. Why is that meaning? Because this one, the white one, is built in 16th century. We can see the small windows because at that time windows wasn't that important and the robbers could really easily get in. So there was living one trader which was trading a different kind of goods and opened the first shop in Riga. So we can see those bigger windows, those were the places where he was trading the products. Then 100 years later, in the 17th century, was built this yellow building. We can see the windows are more bigger, and upstairs there was the place for the goods, then living place where the windows are bigger and there didn't had any expensive stuffs. And also there was that shop for the traders to trading goods. So, and the third brother green building is built in 18th century. We can see it's a little bit different. The big windows and there's no any place for the shop. Why we call them Three Brothers? Because in the 3 centuries there was built each of the building, and there were living only traders. Through the centuries, nobody else lived there. You know, there is the museum, there is the cultural architectural place, and we came to the Doma Square and Doma Cathedral, the biggest cathedral in Baltic states. It's more than 800 years old. It was built in 1211 by Bishop Albert, and it's really loud probably. Yeah, building was built by Bishop Albert, the first bishop who came to Riga, established Christianity here, and he was also the one who found Riga in 1201. So that's really important. And the same thing, if there is a possibility to climb. Well, this is the only one square where you can look around and see all the 3 towers from the biggest churches in Riga. We saw the Doma Cathedral, the St. Peter's Church where we have been, and the St. Jakub Church. And all of them has a rooster on top of the tower, So we can see they are almost in the one way. So they shows that the wind is going to that way. So that is really special thing, because in nowhere else you can see that. If you go to other side of the river, yeah, then you can see really beautiful panorama, but that's here. And now we will go closer to church.
මෙතන ඉස්සර වහනේ කරන්නේ. මෙතන එහෙම එකක් වෙන්නේ නෑ නේ. මේක මේ සිටි එක ඇතුලේ.
There we can see the level of the ground is down as a little mountain here. In the reality, that's the ground level from the 13th century, and from the 13th till 16th century there was cemetery. The grey cemetery where was buried all the people who lived here in Riga. The oldest grave which was found here was from the 9th century. It was Livian who was living here in Riga. And it's always really funny, because in nowadays there's no any bones left or graves. There's still the play yard for the kids. Nobody even knows that there was such a cemetery here. That's a funny story. But yeah, you are standing on the 21st century layer, and there is the 13th century. Riga Cathedral is very special also because of the organ. There is the biggest organ, which. So thank you for coming and and listening. Hopefully you are not tired and it was interesting.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hopefully you need to find somewhere the tea or something,
Yes,
something
we are
warm.
going, yes,
And
me and my agent, of course, but students, I hope you enjoy it. It is very sad that others didn't came, but they lost their opportunity to see Old Riga, and this is their problem.
Exactly.
Yes, we are the happy one. Man vajag ar jums aiziet, vai jūs sūtīsiet uz to manu e-pastu?
Es sūtīšu uz e-pastu rēķinu, jā, uz 9 cilvēkiem, jā, tad to arī izsūtīšu, jā.
Super, paldies, labi, tad okay for my students.
කොහොම තමයි අද ඕල් සිටි එකේ ගමන ඉවර වුනේ. දැනගත් විදියට මෙහි ඉන්නේ හොරු. ඉඳලා තියෙන්නේ එහෙම කියන්න හොඳ නෑනේ.
හැබැයි හොඳ rich culture මේකත් තියෙන culture එකක්.
කල්චර් එකක් තිබිලා තියෙනවා. දන්නේ නැති දේවල් ගොඩක් बनाගත්තා.
අපි ගල්වා
bla bla bla. එහෙම මොන හරි කියලා තියෙනවා එහෙනම්. ආයෙත් වීඩියෝ එකකින් හම්බෙමු. ජය වේවා.